10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Get them
Welcome,
properties.
ladies and gentle ladies and womens, to once again our special. I think this is the second or third one we've done.
Second one, because the
That's right.
first one was for E3.
Welcome to
Oh,
our
streaming area.
fail. Welcome to our special GameCon podcast. For those that didn't know, GameCon is currently going on in good old Germany.
Cologne, Germany.
One of the biggest game conferences in the world. Some even consider it bigger than E3. So, welcome.
Boy, did we get some bangers, though. Banger
Yeah.
news.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of news for this. So, today's podcast will just be strictly focused on Gamescom. And
Yep.
then, obviously, we will resume our normal podcast on Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7...
Or whenever we get on.
Yeah, roughly 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So usually it's between 10 to 10:30, give or take a few minutes. So we say one time and then all of a sudden it's something else. So anyways, once again, welcome to the Level Unlock Podcast, our special Gamescom 2019 special podcast. Schroeder is not with us tonight, but he will be back with us as normal on Sunday for our regular episode 31 of the Level Unlock Podcast.
Yep.
Myself, as always, Captain Geach, Captain_Geach15, as well as Mr. James here, People I Hate Studios and People I Hate 10. We're going to skip going over our weeks just because we just kind of talked about it 2 days ago, and that takes away from Sunday. So, kind of kicking right off, let's start with how did you like Gamescom? What'd you think?
I thought it was better than E3.
There was a bunch.
There was some fucking banger news.
I wish we could watch. I guess technically we could, but it wouldn't really do any justice for the audio-only viewers. To watch the trailers, some of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a bunch.
Did you watch Gamescom at all? Did you watch the conferences, or did you just read about them?
I watched them after the fact. So I didn't watch them. I didn't watch them live, but
Okay,
I did watch.
I didn't either.
I watched them after the fact. Took a bunch of notes, as well as
real quick,
found some hidden gems that kind of like E3, where they do like the interviews after the fact.
Yeah,
I have a bunch
it
of
wasn't
that
a part of the
stuff
main
as well.
stage or anything like that. Cool, because I don't have anything like that.
I don't know why they do that.
Probably smaller games. Smaller
Yeah, I
things are
guess.
from like companies that aren't in the.
Well, Microsoft
like,
even
'cause-
did that because they had to explain more off screen what the xCloud was. It's like, why the fuck wouldn't you
really?
why wouldn't you just explain that like during
Probably
the actual
because
conference?
they have a set time.
Yeah, that's true.
They probably have a set time frame.
So what were you saying? You had a question for me? I don't know if you remember.
What did you think of the Stadia event? Real quick, how boring was it?
I don't understand the. I guess that's the thing. It's kind of like a direct, Nintendo Direct type thing.
Minus all the fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Who is the company that made fun of that? Said that that's the thing to do now.
Devolver Digital.
Yeah, Devolver.
During their E3 thing.
Yeah, when you're inside the brain of the CEO or whatever.
Yeah.
She got killed.
From the last E3.
Yeah.
I love how they have this continuing story going on.
I get it that it saves a lot of money from having to have like an actual stage and conference and stuff, but at the same time, you're right. It takes away the
But you can
the
still
enthusiasm.
You can still have fun. Like the Nintendo ones are still a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
But like this Google Stadia one was just so professional.
Well, it's Google too. This is their inaugural stance into the gaming world. So
Yeah, but you could still have fun.
yeah, but they honestly they could have made it a little more not cut and dry. But I get that they wanted to like maintain an image that we're Google, one of the world's largest companies. We're gonna bring you an evolutionary system that's. I even have a news article that talks about that, about how Google's leap into the video game industry poses to disrupt the $1.35 billion industry.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You don't think it will? With the huge
No.
shift into...
No, because you have to buy the games individually. You still have to buy the games like normal. I don't think that's going to really get people into it.
You don't think so?
As much. It's going to be a little bit more of a barrier of entry, because it's one thing to like, oh hey, you know, with like games on PlayStation, like DuckTales Remastered just got taken off like the PS3 and 360. Yeah. If you still have it downloaded, you can still play forever.
Yeah.
It's not locked in any way, shape, or form. But with things like the Google Stadia and the xCloud, well, what happens if, you know, Destiny 2 gets taken off of the Google Stadia? Those hundreds of hours I spent and that $60 I spent is now completely down the fucking drain.
Yeah. Well, let's keep on. Let's actually we'll start with the Google Stadia then. We'll keep.
Yeah, let's get the boring shit out of the way.
Since we're already kind of on it, so pretty much for those who aren't familiar, we kind of talked about it in the past. Essentially, the Google Stadia it's a streaming platform that allows you to stream to Pixel books, Pixel phones, like James has, full-fledged games from the big companies: Ubisoft, Bethesda, EA, Take-Two, and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So with that, they went over the pricing. So you will receive for free without you have to have the Google subscription, but for the Google Stadia base, you'll get 1080, 60 frames per second, as well as stereo sound.
Yep.
If you would
2.0
like
channel
to stream in 4K with 5.1 surround and have access to Google Stadia's free gaming library, which they haven't. I didn't see anything. Yeah, I don't think they have anything on it right now.
No. Nothing.
They eventually will, where you basically will get to play the games on there for free with the membership. It's $10 a month, and it's called the Stadia Pro. From that, it gives you the 4K content, allows you to stream in 4K, and
4K 60.
Supposedly, all you need is 35 megabytes. The speed that you need to stream a game like Destiny, Assassin's Creed Odyssey on your phone, on your Chromebook, and it looks just as good, if not better, than the PlayStation 4 or Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about the games they announced? Do you have that?
Yeah. So here, let's go off like a little list of what they of the entire Connect. So pretty much they started off with a quick recap of what Google Stadia is. They announced that they are almost out of Google Stadia Founders Edition, the 129 pack that includes the controller, Chromecast Ultra, 3-month subscription, and then another 3-month subscription for a friend. They also announced that Watch Dogs Legion is coming to the Stadia. And then probably the big thing was Cyberpunk. Showing off Cyberpunk coming to Google Stadia.
Yeah, I seen that. I think that's actually kind of big. Cyberpunk 2077 with Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm. Reeves.
Mortal Kombat 11. Doom Essential. And I'm not Essential.
Doom Eternal. Darksiders Genesis, which they showed off at E3. Kine, which we'll get more into in a little bit. Which I put 3D puzzle platformer machines trying to make a band. They talked about it at the Nintendo event as well. Orcs Must Die 3.
Yeah,
I know
I've seen
that's a
that.
very popular series. It's a Stadia exclusive. The big thing that they're going to have is 500 mob armies.
Nice.
There's going to be like a whole dedicated thing where it's just like, oh, here's a 500-man wave. Good luck. Good luck, fucko.
That's not bad. They haven't. They have talked about a little bit researching the possibility of doing what Sony, Ubisoft is launching next month, where they have the games on the platform for one flat fee and you don't pay per game. They have said
That's how it should be.
they're looking into that, but there is no date or time as to when it will actually happen because they have to get approval from the actual companies.
Yeah, they have to get the okay.
like-
Because I'm sure, because a lot of them,
Like Sony's already established. That's how Sony can do it. That's how Microsoft can do it. This isn't.
that's how Ubisoft can do it. That's how
Well, yeah,
EA can do it.
Yep. Well, they're just using their own games, so that's
Well, yeah, but still.
yeah,
Well, and then Sony and Microsoft use their own games as well.
yeah, that's true. But I think once it gets established, and if it does come to where it actually took off and it's actually big, I think the other companies will allow them to make a platform like that where it's $15 a month to play whatever game is allowed to be played on the Google Stadia.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, you're immediately gonna lose Ubisoft and EA games.
Yeah, because they have
You're
their own.
immediately gonna lose them. Yeah, they have their own. So why would you do that? Why would they do that when it's gonna cut into their profit margin?
If it's not working, if
Yeah, I mean, like last ditch effort.
yeah, to keep it alive. But
Mhm.
and for all we know, people might say, "Hey, I want a fucking game hardcore on my phone." Let's do it because you can buy controllers and sync them up Bluetooth with your phone, and then it works.
Uh-huh.
Same
Yeah.
thing with the Chromebooks.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, just Bluetooth control. I mean, hell, you can sync up a PS4 controller.
Yeah.
Nyko made a thing for the PS4 controllers when they first came out, where it'll slap your phone on top of the above the PlayStation 4, the DualShock 4.
So this, unfortunately, it's honestly a wait and see type concept. Comes out in October. So October, I don't know the actual date. I don't know if you have it.
I don't know either.
But it's a soft launch. It's the same soft launch that Microsoft is doing with the xCloud. So the full capabilities, such as the game store for free, that won't come until next year.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that probably won't come until like mid to end of next year, just like the xCloud will. They're releasing it now because Microsoft said that they're releasing theirs, so kind of go head to head with each other.
Compete it with it, yeah.
But at the same time, you're not going to gain really anything from it other than paying $60 for a game that you may already have to play it on your phone.
Yeah.
Or your TV.
Exactly.
Without the system.
Let's go quickly over the games that are coming out for it that they showed off.
Yeah.
So Windjammers 2, Destroy All Humans remake, Mortal Kombat 11, like you said, Super Hot, the sequel to Super Hot, Super Hot Mind Control Delete, Farming Simulator 19 Platinum Edition, now including logging and horses, Samurai Showdown, Grid, Doom Eternal, like you said, Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle, Elder Scrolls Online, and then Borderlands 3.
Did you say Watchdog Legions?
Yeah, they said that at the beginning.
Okay, well,
But I put a little thing with Borderlands 3. We should be careful that we talked about it because we might get private investigators coming to our house.
yeah. I'll leave that one off the table. Kind of slide that under the rug for a minute. How did you get this information? You guys talked about it at a press conference. How'd you know we talked about it at a press conference?
We fucking watched it on the live stream.
Lies!
Like, get out of here.
So yeah, that's pretty much the Google Stadia for the most part. That was
It was a 30-minute slog
Yep.
is the best that I can put it. Best way I can put it.
Honestly, if you ever watched the State of Play, the Nintendo's
No, don't even
thing.
compare it to those.
Well,
Don't even compare it to those.
it was they
'Cause those
tried
aren't
to
slogs.
do that.
Yeah, they tried to do that, but they failed.
Yeah, they tried to make it like that, but it was. You have to look. There's one scene where James kind of hit the nail on the head. That the lady looks like she's literally being held at gunpoint, like forced to read off a prompter. Like, she's like, yes, yes. Like, she looks scared out of her life.
She does. She has like a blank fucking expression and it's spooky.
Yeah.
It's super spooky.
Go
So
ahead.
let's talk about the good version of that, the Nintendo, the
Yeah.
Nindies event, Nintendo Indie World. Sorry.
Let's do it.
So they started off with Risk of Rain 2, showing off the 4-player multiplayer. It's coming out this summer for the Nintendo Switch. Eastward, which is a post-apocalyptic isometric dungeon crawler with some really nice 16-bit graphics. That's coming out next year. Freedom Finger. Did you see that?
Yeah, Nintendo has some weird ass games. Like, I don't understand Nintendo at times. Like,
Fuck.
like
So
they're not
Freedom
afraid
Finger-
to make like cutting edge games that might kind of like draw the line a little bit.
They're not afraid to put good stuff on their platform.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's a scrolling shooter, side-scrolling shooter, a shmup, if you will. You're a finger shooting stuff, but the cool thing about it is you can pick up the enemies and use them as weapons. So like if you see
That's
like
fucking hilarious.
a anti-aircraft gun or something like that, you can pick it up and start using that to shoot with it. There's also middle finger that's censored,
Yeah.
which I really appreciate. 36 levels, which is pretty damn big for a side scroller shooter like that, and it's coming out this fall. There was Roki, which is a lot of snow, and there's like a giant wolf. Looks absolutely beautiful. Snow is going to be a theme. I don't know if you noticed this, Walker, but snow is definitely a theme of this Gamescom.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a lot of shit with snow.
Which I made sense. I'm like, kind of, not really, but
Not really.
no. They showed more about Ori, that
Yep.
in the Blind Forest.
Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. That's coming out. What's cool about that is it's the second Microsoft Game Studios published game. There was Torchlight 2, which is another dungeon crawler. Showed off some multiplayer. That's coming out September 3rd. Skater XL reminds me a lot of Skate. It's very physics-based. They tout that no two tricks are the same. The skateboarding game, where you do the same trick, but it's not going to be the exact same every single time, just like in real life. That's coming out next year, 2020. Europa, which was that weird, like third-person game where you're running across, like, it looked like Paris.
Yeah, it was I don't know where it was. I know you're talking about that. I don't know where. I wouldn't even say like Paris.
I thought it looked like, I thought I saw the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, maybe. But at
And
some
at the
points it
beginning.
looks like you're in freaking Pandora because you're in the sky.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because you end up in the sky on like ropes that remind you of actually kind of almost like Final Fantasy 15-esque, where you have this city on the ground and then above it you have like this giant other city floating in the air, kind of.
You mean Final Fantasy 7?
Oh, it's 15 or 10 maybe 10. Yeah, Final Fantasy
know.
10. That's what I'm thinking of. If you never played 10, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about.
No, I played 10. That was my first real Final Fantasy that I played.
It's when
First Final Fantasy I really played.
you meet that dude. They like that. Like one of the final bosses. I don't remember that guy's
Anime
name.
hair,
Yeah, you
blue
meet him.
anime hair.
Yeah. Hey, you meet him.
They showed off Super Hot. That's available today on the Switch. They showed off the new Dungeon Defenders, Dungeon Defenders Awakening, Awakened. 4-player tower defense. They showed off 4-player split screen. It's going to be a timed exclusive coming February 2020. Hopefully it's going to get the bad taste out of everyone's mouths from the sequel, which not many people liked because, hey, it was free to play and it had a lot of free to play mechanics in it.
Oh, yeah.
There was the Taurus. That looked pretty interesting. I really like the voxel art it had. The little like 3D like almost
Taurus
like 3D
goes
pixel
to Germany.
What?
Taurus goes to Germany. That's the rest of it, isn't it?
No, I didn't think so.
I thought it was.
I thought it was just called the Taurus.
Oh, I have the Taurus goes to Germany, and I wrote it's like a Zelda-like style, like gameplay. Almost.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's a lot of like puzzle platforming stuff in it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat. You don't really see that kind of art style in puzzle platformers.
No. That's kind of like their go-to thing. Roki is a puzzle adventure. Europa is a puzzle platform. This there is like that's kind of like their thing. I've noticed Nintendo is for the most part.
Pretty much.
That Nintendo is
I mean, it's easy. I wouldn't say it's easy to make, but I mean, like it's.
I guess for the type of
make.
graphics that it has, it makes sense to have that.
Yeah.
I guess they've always been that way because they've never had a system with like true like graphics like the PlayStation or Xbox. So,
yeah, I wouldn't say since the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Have they had a system that could actually was up to technical snuff as the other ones?
Hey, and it worked for them. They don't need it, so.
No, Nintendo's always everyone like. Nintendo's always been the company that's like, oh, okay, we're not going to compete against Microsoft and Sony. We're just going to be that other company that everyone has.
Yeah.
Like, because when the Wii came out, it was always like everyone had a Wii and then either an Xbox or PlayStation.
Yep. Yeah.
There was Skellboy. Did you see that shit? The one where you're the skeleton.
I don't recall. I'm looking.
Yeah, so it's a third-person action adventure, and you're a skeleton. But the cool thing about it is,
I don't see that one.
you pick up body parts.
Oh, okay.
And that's
okay,
like your weapons and armor that you equipped.
It almost looks like what's that game for the Xbox 360? That one that was huge back in the day. Not Clash of Clans, but Clash of Titano. The fuck was that?
That was a movie and a game.
It was ones where you were little dudes like this and you shot arrows and battled people and Clash of something. Hang on.
I have not even a single fucking idea.
Let's see what we got here.
Are you just Googling Xbox 360 game? Are you sure you're not talking about like Clash of Clans?
No, it's not Clash of Clans. It might be. No, it's not Clash of Clans.
Okay.
What the fuck is it? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Well, if you the graphics look the same, in a sense.
Okay.
Where you have these little, like small like little soldier dudes, with like bow and arrows or like swords, and you go around and fight things. Fuck, I don't remember what it's called. It's gonna make me mad.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea. Not even a single clue. There was Earth Knight. Where that was the cool one where it's like a platformer where you're running across dragons in the sky. It takes place in space. It looks pretty fun, I must say. That's coming out this year. Basically it's like it's just basically like a runner. An endless runner almost, but you're running across dragons and shit. The big thing that they dropped was the Hotline Miami collection. That was probably one of the biggest things that they showed off.
Yeah.
You get the 2 Hotline Miami games. It's the big thing that they showed off was that it's available now. Okay, so this is the part that I dubbed Speed Round Go, where they just kind of threw off a whole bunch of games. There is the action platform Blasphemous coming out September 26th. Close to the Sun is a first-person puzzle game coming out in 2019. Cat Quest 2 is an action RPG starring cats that's coming out this fall. Spiritfarer, talked about it during E3, spring 2020. Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince, coming out October 8th. The big thing about Trine 4 is that it's only 2 players. 2-player co-op puzzle adventure, or puzzle platformer. If I'm remembering correctly, the other games had 3-player co-op, but they only showed off 2-player.
Yeah, I think so too.
There was One Finger Death Punch 2.
Yeah.
Coming out December 2nd. It reminds me of that those old like Newgrounds stick figure animations.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. The same thing. It's so stupid but funny.
There was Best Friends Forever, and let me just put everything that I put on here. February 14th. Dating sim. Bunch of hipsters. Fucking puppers. Take pupper for walk. Care for pupper. Level up pupper. Love pupper.
It's not wrong.
There's that weird game, was it like Fogs? Phogs? Fogs?
Yeah.
That's coming out early 2020.
Fuck.
The best way I described it is cat dog minus the cat and add another dog.
I like that one too.
There was What the Golf that's coming out this winter.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I don't even know how to describe that one. I don't even want to even try to describe that one. Just go look up What the Golf. There was Kine. I watched the Nintendo Direct first.
What the Golf almost reminds me of like a cell phone game.
Yeah.
Like that's like the graphics you're getting out of it. But not very good.
So with Kine, it's like I put 2019 weird puzzle game. Again, I don't know how to describe it. Because like you're different musical instrument robots that have to kind of like get to a goal by using their abilities to traverse the world, the little stage. Hypercharge Unbox, which actually looks pretty cool. That was the first-person shooter coming out this winter. It reminds me of the movie Toy Soldiers. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me the one that they played on Cartoon Network like all the fucking time.
Yep. That actually does look kind of cool. It kind of does almost, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Northgard, coming September 26th. It's a real-time strategy game set in Viking times. Sparklight, which is a top-down action adventure coming out this fall. Munchkin Quacked Quest, which is a dungeon crawler coming out this fall. Yeah, I guess it uses the cards from the Munchkin game. Never played the Munchkins game, so I can't say. And then Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition.
I think the unboxed Hypercharge Unboxed would be kind of cool. I used to like those games. It kind of reminds me of another game. I don't know if you ever played it. Like I don't know if it's called Toy Soldier or like Army. It was when you're actually like little, like those green army men you could buy at the store. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. They had a game. I don't remember if it was for PlayStation.
They had a bunch of them.
I don't know if it was a PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation, where you played as those little guys and you're in people's backyards and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of.
I think that was PlayStation 1.
Much better graphics in here, but.
Yeah. I had an N64. So I played Sarge's Heroes, I think it was called.
Yeah, something like that.
Army Men Sarge's Heroes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, you know. Okay. Yeah, those are fun.
Because I very vividly remember the kitchen level in that, where you're running in the kitchen and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
those games
are pretty cool.
Yeah, those games are fun. Yeah, your little Army Men Sarge's Heroes. Yep, I just looked it up. Yeah, your little green army dudes. And you're in people's backyards, their houses, things along those lines. Some of those are fucking hard as shit. Some of those levels
Yeah, they were. They were stupid hard. I remember renting that shit, and it was on like a... Did that one... I think that one had like a black cartridge.
Yeah.
For the N64.
Yep. Yeah, it was a fun game.
I rented that shit from Blockbuster all the goddamn time.
There you go. Yeah, I don't think I actually owned it. I think I rented mine too. Castle Crashers.
Okay, okay, Castle Crashers.
That's what the one game we were talking about earlier reminded me of. I couldn't think what it was. I knew it was something started with the fucking C. So I was close.
Do you want to do the Inside Xbox and save the opening night live for last?
Yeah, no, we definitely can.
So
go ahead.
So far we've had one pretty good show and one slog. And thankfully the Stadia Connect was the only bad show of the bunch. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was the only bad one of the bunch. Both of which were only like half hour long, too.
Yeah,
which is nice. My nose is fucking running like crazy. I don't
Mine
know why.
too. I don't.
It's either my nose is running or it's just sweat. So it started off with Borderlands 3.
Again.
Woo. Split screen. Ah, fuck. Inside Xbox is presented by Borderlands 3.
Yeah. I don't know. They've been promoting that game a lot.
Yeah, they need to stop.
Which is weird because they started their Xbox conference with Borderlands on E3. Which I don't. I don't know if they have a lot riding on it because of Borderlands 2 was. No, Borderlands 1 was considered one of the best games for that console.
Yeah, for the
360. So maybe they just have a lot riding on it in hopes that
maybe.
Who knows? They had a bunch of different stuff. Go ahead.
I turned off my light because this isn't a professional podcast. This isn't the official one, so it's too hot with the fucking light on.
Oh, I bet. Gears of War. We'll start with that. Gears 5.
Oh, are you sure you want to talk about that first, or do you want to save that for last?
We'll say that for last. So
do you want to talk about Blair Witch?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
The first. Let's just go down the line. Let's go down the list.
Yeah.
Of everything they talked about.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, do we want
Blair Witch look good?
So, I was reading an article about it. So, I don't know if I can find it again, but essentially, the Blair Witch trailer explains why you never want to go in the woods. Is essentially what it comes down to.
Exactly. Fuck the woods.
Is essentially what it comes down to is that it's definitely it's gonna make you jump type game.
Oh yeah.
It's what they're going after in that, which is good because that's not necessarily good, but at the same time there isn't a lot of games like that anymore.
Horror games are still a very niche genre. It's been a niche genre, and
yeah, not that it's a huge market of people that like those games that jump out at you and make you like scream like a little girl.
I mean, I love them.
You got your not your Final Fantasies, Jesus Christ, your Resident Evil 7s and shit. That do that.
And my Silent Hill 2s.
Yeah.
Well, they don't make you go They're like, oh, that's disturbing.
Sneak preview for Sunday. We talked about it last week, but I got some more news on some Resident Evil shit that you might be interested in, James.
Are you sure, or are you just playing with my emotions?
No, I'm sure. Well, probably not, because it's more movie related, but
oh god.
But it's a good transition, but we'll talk about that later. So essentially it's a handy cam game where you're in the woods. If you haven't seen the trailer, make sure you go see it. What's your take on it?
I think it looks good. I like the pupper in it. That was pretty cool, having the pupper. That's also another theme, too. Did you notice all the dogs that they had in this?
Yeah, dogs and snow.
Dogs and snow. A lot of footage of the main character, Ellis, holding a gun. And then I put, just fucking do it, Ellis.
Well, because he's trapped in the Blair Witch, so...
No, that was like flashback shit.
Oh, yeah.
That was flashback. He was like, because I put, Pupper, you're a fuck up. Lots of footage of main character Ellis holding a gun, and then just fucking do it, Ellis, in all caps.
If you've seen the movies, I would say it's slightly similar to that.
Okay.
Not like a fucking remake of it or anything like that. But it's still good.
Okay.
It's definitely gonna make you jump. I think it's definitely gonna make you scared. And I see it more of a suspense game.
Okay.
So
That's true horror right
Yeah.
there. Suspense, not just jump scares.
uh,
I actually had what was it yesterday? A really good conversation with Mitchell about the differences between Silent Hill and what was that?
shut up. I had ads going on like 4 different
Oh.
things, and they stopped. I was like, shut up.
About the differences with Silent Hill and Resident Evil. I'll talk more about it Sunday, but I had a really good discussion with him about it before we were recording.
I know we skipped it, but Borderlands. They announced.
Yeah, hold on. Where was Borderlands on here? Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Here's my notes on Borderlands 3.
I can't wait.
Randy is here, but a different one. Year anniversary of Borderlands 1. Oh, 3 year. Oh, I did not type that out right. It's an anniversary of the first Borderlands. Takes place on multiple planets. I'm just gonna fast forward through this. Walker, you can take this.
Oh, I'm just gonna fast forward through this one. I don't really give 2 shits. That's fucking hilarious. You actually wrote, I'm just gonna fast forward through this. So they introduced a new mode. It's called Endgame mode. So,
Okay.
according to everything, Borderlands 3 will be up there for one of the most anticipated games of the year, and most likely be considered for Game of the Year.
No, better not. Fucking better not.
Gamescom.
With all the games that we had this year, fucking better not.
Yeah, but who actually knows?
We had 3 Game of the Years already. 3 Game of the Year contenders already this year. 4. If you include Mario Maker.
Yeah, that's true. So, Gamescom gave us a new look at the new mode for endgame content. It's called
That's so stupid that they showed off endgame stuff.
yeah.
They showed off like endgame gameplay.
Yep. It's called Proving Grounds. So essentially, the challenges operate like a horde mode in other games, where they just come at you, and come at you, and come at you, and come at you. Hang on a second.
So from what it sounds like, it's going to be another horde mode, just like how everyone was doing horde modes when Gears of War 2 was out.
Yeah. So essentially, it's just a non-stop horde mode.
Good.
You have to take on missions to find ancient writings that give you coordinates to the proving grounds. Once you fend off all the waves of enemies, the longer you last, the better loot that you'll be awarded with. So that's essentially what it is.
Okay.
It's basically, we played Borderlands, and there's times when the enemies are just coming at you like crazy. I would say that, but like on steroids.
Okay.
And then essentially you complete the missions, complete the levels, and then you get better loot than you would in the regular games, essentially.
Yeah.
Where are we at here? This is what I was gonna do. What's the next game?
Let's talk about the stuff coming to the Game Pass, shall we?
Yeah, speaking of Game Pass, for those who are not familiar with it, Game Pass Ultimate was announced at E3, and it's ramping up even more now. So essentially, what it is. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. So it's Xbox.
I didn't know if you were gonna talk about it or not.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring it up really quick. It's the Xbox Live Gold membership combined with their Game Pass. For $15 a month.
For both PC and Xbox One.
Yes. Which to me is actually a pretty good deal.
Oh yeah, it's a hell of a good deal.
New subscribers can get 2 months for $2 if you sign up right now. So if you never had an Xbox membership before or anything like that, you can sign up for $2. It's now available now through the 20th, and after the 2 months, it'll go to the normal $15 unless you cancel it.
Yep. I like how when it was there for like $1. I liked when people were finding workarounds, because if you had Xbox Live Gold, you could upgrade it for that $1, and you would have Xbox One Ultimate or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for that entire period that you're still good with Xbox Live Gold. So people were doing shit like getting 2 1-year subscriptions to Xbox Live, and then hitting that upgrade for $1 button, and then for that entire 2 years they would have Xbox Ultimate.
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, so that's pretty big. Also, side note too, I forgot to add for Blair Witch, you can actually stop what you're doing and pet your dog.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you can pet the dog in Blair Witch.
Yeah, you can interact with the dog in the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, so game of the year right there.
Yeah, pretty much. You just
on that merit alone.
Sit there and pet the dog the whole time.
Have you ever seen the Twitter account Can You Pet the Dog?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's one of the greatest Twitter accounts ever, because all it does is it goes through a whole bunch of games, and it's like, oh, you can pet the dog in this game, or you can't pet the dog in this game. That's all it is.
Funny. And
then it just shows a gif of petting the dog.
Do you want to go over the games that they announced for it?
Yeah, let's do it. So Kingdom Come Deliverance, the first-person action RPG set in medieval times. Ape Out, Bard's Tale 4, which is pretty big. Blair Witch is going to be on there,
which is huge.
Age of Empires Deluxe Edition, Stellaris, and then probably the biggest one is DMC5.
Sure is.
Fucking game of the year right there.
And it is rumored that Gears 5 may be available.
Oh no, Gears 5 is. They said so.
Oh yeah. I just didn't see it. Oh yeah, you're right.
You get the deluxe edition, or the gold edition when you get
that's true. Get the Sarah Connor
and all the DLC. Human Fall Flat DLC they talked about, free DLC coming the 27th. They also announced that Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, Age of Empires 2 Remastered Definitive Edition, I should say. Age of Empires 2 is widely considered one of, if not the best, real-time strategy games ever. It's getting a full 4K remaster for Xbox and PC.
Yep.
That's coming November 14th. It's coming, 4K. Crossplay between Steam and I think I put PC, but I don't know if that's Xbox or not. And then what's cool is that, it is coming to Steam, which is really nice. You get 25% off on Steam if you own the original game, which is cool too.
Yeah, I've seen that. They got some controllers.
Yeah, those controllers are fucking sweet.
So there's 2 new controllers. They have new designs, new sleekness, so that's pretty cool. The 2 new controllers come in Night Ops Camo and Sports Blue.
Yeah, both of them are very, very good looking. Even like the Night Ops Camo, which I'm not a huge fan of like camo controllers in general. That looked really good. Mm-hmm. I really like how they also have rubberized grips on the back.
Yep.
Of them.
Yeah, that's super convenient.
You want to talk about Gears Pop?
I was waiting for that. Yeah, it's fine.
Or do you want to say
so? Gears Pop, free to play. They kind of went over a little bit more. It actually comes out tomorrow, the 22nd.
Yay.
So
I pre-registered for it.
cross saves.
I want to put myself through all that bullshit.
So this is kind of a little cool thing with it. So cross saves have been enabled across all 3 platforms.
Yay.
Android, iOS, and Windows 10 is what it's available for. So if you play it on Android and you pick it back up on the computer, it'll leave off right where it was before, which is kind of cool, I guess. It's not horrible, still not like amazing. So if you haven't seen or don't know what we're talking about, look up the game because it's basically a pop version with characters with big ass heads playing Gears of War. So essentially, it's a bona fide mobile game, which are
It is a mobile game.
it is. Well, yeah. And those are
So-
James's favorite.
So, do you want to hear my notes on this? I know I sent them to you, but
Probably like absolute trash.
Gears Pop. Fuck my life. August 22nd. iOS, Android, and Windows 10. This trailer makes me want to die, and I'm only 5 seconds in. Who thought this was a good idea? What is life? Video games were a mistake.
I love it. So it's their take with the Plants vs Zombies formula. It's a real-time multiplayer matches, and the games includes cute little versions of more than 30 different characters across all the Gear series.
My favorite part of it was when Marcus Phoenix helped get that gun out of the tree for that one dude, for that one locust or horde guy.
We
You want to talk about NBA?
We
'Cause
can.
I was actually shocked by NBA 2K.
Well, those games always have been surprisingly really good. But go ahead.
Actually, can we talk about my notes here?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so it starts off. Some basketball players there. His name is Josh Hart. His overall rating is 76, kind of meh. Josh isn't pleased. It's better than last year. He apparently doesn't mind it. He lies. He plays Fortnite. Lorenzo Ball plays PUBG. Josh is going to try to switch him to Fortnite. Yup. Video games.
Oh my god.
And then they talked about my career. My career story. Which actually is kind of interesting here. So, it's produced by LeBron James, like he did last year.
Graphic-wise, it's phenomenal.
It looks great. Yeah. What was it, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or something like that? They had Spike Lee do it, and it was an absolute train wreck. Main character is friends with all the stars, starring Idris Elba,
Yep.
Rosario Dawson, Thomas Middleditch, Ernie Hudson, LeBron James. I actually do. I appreciate the higher budget story mode in a sports game.
Yeah, and I like the fact, just like my career, it walks you through like the potential of being like famous. Essentially, you get big, and then you gain respect from the actors and the bigger players. So it's kind of what they're gearing towards, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then you have they'll come into the locker room and things like that. The trailer came in. You're playing. You broke your foot.
Ow.
And basically, it's about you coming back from that and then being somebody.
Yeah. You know, the story that everyone can relate to.
Yeah, coming back from an injury, being told you can't do it, and practicing, training, being drafted, making it into the NBA, and being the famous all-star that you are.
I wish that, the sports games I play had something like that. Like my baseball or my hockey. The hockey has no goddamn excuse. Like, not even a single excuse,
I'm
because
surprised.
Madden
those
Madden
don't.
and FIFA do it.
I'm surprised
Madden and
hockey
FIFA
doesn't. Oh yeah, I can't FIFA like not as much, but why not hockey? Like coming up as a little kid, like making it to the big leagues.
They did. It was called NHL Slapshot on the Wii. You started off in Pee Wee Pond hockey and played all the way up to the NHL. But no, like I'm like I said, I'm like really shocked that they're all by EA.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
isn't
the
the
same
hockey
company
one?
makes it? Well, WWE has the same concept now, kind of.
Yeah.
It's not as in depth as like the NBA, but it's still they have like a career mode where you start off as a nobody, training at the performance center, having to pass the drills, and then you make it to the
But
WWE.
It's less of like an actual like narrative.
Yeah.
It's more of just like a glorified be a pro mode. That's all it is, just be a pro mode.
Mhm.
Well, with NBA 2K, FIFA, and then Madden, they all have actual like stories in them where they have specific story beats. What'd you think of Ghost Recon?
It wasn't bad. And I forgot something to add with Nintendo, by the way. We'll go back to that in a minute. We'll go back to that in a little bit.
Okay.
What'd
you think of the new Ghost War?
The Breaking Point?
Yeah, the Ghost War mode.
I like it. The PvP, it's a 4v4 competitive multiplayer mode.
Guess what they had? They showed off a lot of in that one.
Snow.
Fucking snow.
And that's kind of the thing with this one. It is a PvP, kind of unlike the PvE that is... What is the one that's out right now? The big one?
Division?
Division, yeah.
Well, they also have PvP as well, but...
They do, but it's not
mainly
really
PvE.
geared. It's not geared towards that.
Well, this one isn't either. This one's also PvE.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But
this
is like a mode.
They talked about it on E3. There's another one, Quarantine. That's what it is. That's separate. We'll get into that different time.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Rainbow Six Quarantine. I remember that one. Took me a second.
Yeah. But that's not bad. Basically, Ward, you're rewarded for communication, cooperation within teams, amongst an open and diverse map. So it's kind of cool. We'll see how that plays out. I like the 4v4 cooperative multiplayer. It's kind of like what Call of Duty's doing with the 2v2.
Yeah. What did you think of the Battle Royale circle that comes into play?
I didn't see that one. I have to look.
Yeah, because they showed it off, I think, near the end of the trailer, where it's just the circle that closes in, just like in a Battle Royale. Yeah.
I guess it makes sense. So you guys just aren't camping, sitting there while you're facing each other.
Exactly.
I wonder if the Call of Duty one will have that, the 2v2 one.
Probably not, because I feel like that's a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's true. PUBG. Talked about PUBG. Season 4.
They had, like, God bless both those guys, but man, that first guy that they talked to from PlayerUnknown's group, boy howdy, he was struggling hard with his English. They should have just given him a translator.
Yeah, like they did for...
The other guy was great. But...
So yeah, it was... Season 4 is expected to be absolutely massive. Stunning visual updates. They're adding bunny costumes into it. That's their kind of like their new thing. And the biggest piece of news for that, Jesus Christ.
Fucking shit. Cross-porn.
Cross-platform play for the consoles is coming this October. It goes live. So, which means I can play PlayStation and play people on Xbox. It is not known yet if it will cross over to PC. But right now, it's just for the consoles.
I would assume so, because I can't imagine it being a lot harder to do cross-platform to PC. But you never know.
Yep. PUBG Season 4 launches Xbox One this August, August 27th, and it'll launch on the PlayStation next month. Because it was originally exclusive to Xbox for the longest time, so obviously they're gonna get the things.
And it was in early access for the longest time too.
It was. Essentially, they realized that it exploded huge for Fortnite, Rocket League, Monster Hunter. That cross-platform was a thing, so now PUBG is getting into the world.
Monster Hunter doesn't have that.
Oh, never mind. It's the Monster Hunter it's a different game. Dauntless.
Dauntless, yeah.
Sorry, not Monster Hunter the game. There we go.
Dauntless is the poor man's. Fuck, I forget the name of it. But there's a game that's like Monster Hunter, which is the poor man's version of Monster Hunter. So Dauntless is basically the poor man's version of Monster Hunter.
What's the next game you got?
Wasteland 3, Snow. Squad-based strategy like XCOM, full open world, post-apocalypse.
And the post-nuclear wastes of Arizona, to be exact, which is kind of cool.
Colorado.
Well, they go to both.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the regular Wasteland games, because Wasteland was originally made by like the first Wasteland game was made by a lot of the original team that made the first two Fallouts.
Mm-hmm. And if you look in Arizona anyways, it's 90% desert, so it kind of looks like a nuclear fallout, so kind of makes sense.
Pretty much. What do you have next?
Metro Exodus, the two Colonels. Colonels. Can't fucking talk.
Can I just say, fuck that spelling of Colonel.
Yeah.
Because I was typing it out and I'm like, no, that doesn't look right. I was typing out because I put kernels like popcorn kernels and I'm like, that's not right. I know it's not right. I know kernel is spelled stupid.
Yep.
So I looked up because I asked Google, I was like, how do you spell kernel? And it told me like popcorn kernel or, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right. So I looked up Colonel Sanders.
That's funny. The two Colonels is an expansion of the game. It launched yesterday, actually. It's a DLC that tells what happens to, I don't know how to say the dude's name, Nozabrick. I don't know how to fucking. Sure. It's some Russian name. Basically, it was a mystery to what happened in the actual game itself. So this kind of explores that. Metro Exodus is a part of Game Pass, but to get the DLC, it's separate. You gotta pay $30.
Yeah, you gotta buy that separately. You gotta buy that shit.
It is not there. Yeah, there's still plenty of story to explore. So essentially, it's just exploring a part. It's exploring another character that they kind of left out a little bit in the actual game.
Yeah. Which is weird. I mean, like, I mean, I hear the Metro games are really good. I haven't played them. But
yeah, I've never played them either.
I think I played a little bit of one of them. I'm not live anymore. Fun fact.
Destiny 2.
Okay. Yeah, that actually looked pretty interesting.
So we'll see if Destiny can come back. Probably not, because it's...
Oh, no, it's starting to come back ever since...
Destiny.
Ever since, whatchamacallit, Bungie bought it.
Yeah, they bought it back.
From Activision.
Shadowkeep, as an expansion for Destiny 2, returns players to the moon. Bungie's game director, Ben Womack, was on hand not only to discuss everything, but getting into it. He revealed some special finishers, which is actually kind of cool. The expansion drops October 1st.
They actually go a little bit more in depth with the next thing.
Yeah.
The next event.
So, go ahead.
There was Empire of Sin.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool. That's made by Brenda and John Romero.
Yeah,
John Romero, if you don't know, was one of the founders of Doom. One of the daddies of Doom. Takes place in Prohibition era Chicago. Kind of like a strategy game, kind of a little bit like XCOM. Also, it has management options, which is interesting. Customized equipment and abilities. I put John Romero still has that beautiful hair that he always has. One of the cool things that I liked was you could sell poison booze to people.
Yeah.
So like you could poison your beer, your alcohol, and then sell it to people like like people who you're friends with, and then their crew starts dying because hey, poison beer kills.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool concept. Essentially, it drives experience through the criminal underworld, which is a cool take on everything.
It's also cool how half the bosses are real people.
Yeah. Which is rare that you don't really see that.
Mm-hmm. There was that game Vigor. By the guys who made DayZ.
Yes. I've seen
Guess
that
what
one.
we got? Guess what we got in that one?
What?
Some snow.
Of course.
It's free to play. You build encampments. That's pretty cool. Then they had another Borderlands. Then they had Borderlands ad.
Good old Borderlands.
Good
Watch
old
that ends up
Borderlands
being
ad.
like one of the greatest games of all time.
I don't fucking care. It won't be. Then they talked about XO19. Basically, it's like Sony Paris Games Week, where it's just in the UK, it's just all about Xbox and having a good time.
Yep. Which I'm assuming they'll probably talk about Project Scarlet.
Possibly.
And
go ahead. One thing I like about it is that the tickets cost £19, but because it takes place in London. But all the proceeds from the event go to charity. I really like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you want to talk about Gears 5?
No, because we still have a few. We still have a few other things, man. We got Greedfall.
Oh yeah.
The one where you play as that diplomat going to like a whole new world, and you have to become friends with a bunch of different factions, so everyone's friends. It really reminds me of like the early, like the mid 2000s, like BioWare games. So like your Knights of the Old Republic, your Jade Empire, even like your first Mass Effect games, where it's like it's more on talking to your teammates.
Yep.
And them chiming in during like different conversations and stuff like that. And you could bone pretty much everyone. You could just fuck everyone. You're a straight up player. You're a stone cold player. That's coming out September 10th. Summer Spotlight sale going on till September 10th. So you can play some good games at reasonable prices.
Yeah.
There was the Surge 2. They showed off as well. That's the futuristic Dark Souls-like game. Takes place in the ruins of a futuristic city. Full character creator, full limb targeting. Cool thing about the limb targeting is the way to get equipment and stuff is you have to like beat it off of foes. So, hey, that helmet looks cool. Let me just smack this dude's head until it pops off and I can take it. 80 weapons. Dodges, parries, and blocks, oh my. It's coming out September 24th.
Yes.
Oh, one thing to say about Metro Exodus. The fucker said lit when introducing it.
Hey, man.
And there was a flamethrower, too. In the snow. The flamethrower in the snow. You forgot about the fucking snow in Metro. Yeah, so let's talk about Gears 5.
So essentially start a little bit more into the Horde mode. For those who aren't familiar, once again, there is it's a Horde mode. It's a 4-person mode where essentially...
Actually, 5-person.
Oh, 5-person?
Yeah, because of the dude in the ship.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Essentially, it puts you through a constant wave of enemies getting harder as you go on. which is awesome. There is some crossover.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cameo. Well, there will be a cameo.
A few.
One, characters from Halo Reach will be available in the Horde mode. Horde, Escape, and Versus mode.
I like how they got the original voice actors back for it. That's cool after like 10 years.
Emily A239 and Kate B320, the two Spartans from Bungie's final Halo game.
Yep.
Before it set out on its own to make Destiny.
The best Halo game.
They will be playable characters with the Gears 5 Ultimate Edition included into the Game Pass.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. So that's kind of
one of the things I didn't really care for is that the characters had ults. They had ultimates because everyone has to have ultimates now.
Yeah, unfortunately. They're called power taps, which encourages players to move to their bases and around others.
Basically, it gives you good loot.
Exactly.
If you protect it enough.
You'll need to move around the map to capture energy taps every 10 waves, which boost your power. So, but I feel like, I guess, something like that, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. I liked how the currency is split amongst the team.
Yes, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, you pick up some currency, everyone gets it.
Yep.
The health bar over bosses and mini bosses are pretty cool. That's like one of those things you don't think about, but
no.
And it took them that long to put it in. I also like too the accessibility options that they have. So with the you can control a drone, and really you don't have to worry about like cover shooting and that kind of stuff. It's more of a support role. So for people who aren't as familiar with Gears, or people who aren't as familiar with gaming in general, can still be a part of the team. And also they are adding things like single stick options. So single stick control. So again, for people who can't, fully use a twin stick control scheme, you can still have fun and enjoy the game.
Yep. Yeah, so not only will have crossover players like Sarah Connor, like I said, it'll also have the Halo players, which is awesome. They'll have another teaser trailer that you can watch on August 30th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Available now. You can pre-purchase it on Steam.
Yeah, it's coming to Steam for the first time with crossplay.
Yep.
As well, which is huge. Did you see that cross promotion with Bathing Ape apparel?
No.
Yes. So, Bathing Ape apparel is going to be in the game, and you can buy it in real life. You can buy it at Gears of War's, like Microsoft's website, or at their Bathing Apes NYC or Los Angeles stores.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Some side news for Microsoft. Kind of goes with the Xbox. Microsoft has no plans to release more Xbox exclusive to Nintendo Switch. So as of now, because of the xCloud coming out, they will have the exclusives on there. So currently, games like Forza, Gears, things along those lines.
Yeah, well, that shit was basically inevitable, not happening.
Because currently there is a bunch of games that are going to the Switch. That like Ori, which is an exclusive from Microsoft. And the Blind Forest, that is at Microsoft exclusive. That is going to the Switch. While they did team up, they won't see any other first-party exclusives head to the Switch.
At least for now.
Yeah. Cuphead.
Yeah.
Things like that. So they made it clear that because of the xCloud's ability to play on the Switch, there's no need for it.
Exactly.
So don't go ahead.
Can we talk about that fucking beautiful Xbox One X though?
Good old Gears.
The Gears 5
with a giant skull and it's like cracked. If you haven't seen it, go look it up.
ice.
Yeah.
It's like they took inspiration from the trailer, the E3 trailer, where she like happens to look down at the ice and there's the omen there. So that's where they took the inspiration from. That's pretty fucking rad. Another thing I like too is that they're teaming up with things like Razer to make wireless keyboard and mice in that same aesthetic, and then Seagate as well to make like I think it's like a 2 and 5 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive that it looks like a mini version of the console.
Yeah, I've seen that, which is pretty cool. Do you have any more Xbox news?
Yeah, they ended on the third Borderlands out of the show.
They did. It's so stupid.
All right.
Do you want to go to Sony really quick before we go to like the random games that were here and there?
Sony.
It was announced what they purchased.
Oh yeah, they purchased. Well, I have that here because they talked about it. Jeff Keighley talked about it during the opening live, but they bought Insomniac.
Yep.
Which, I mean,
Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man.
I mean, if they didn't release Sunset Overdrive, I just assumed that they were bought by Sony anyway.
Yeah, I didn't know they didn't own that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I had no idea that they didn't own Insomniac.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't know is because I saw because they made the game Sunset Overdrive for the Xbox.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. I was like, I thought Sony bought them.
So yeah, that'll be big. That they have the exclusive rights over Spider-Man, which we won't talk about other Sony and Spider-Man news until Sunday.
Yep.
So
hey man, all I'm saying is Sony was in the right.
So
we might drop some gloves here on Sunday.
Oh,
about that.
It's gonna throw down.
We're gonna put up them hands. You're gonna taste these hands.
So because of this, the CEO of Sony kind of said that I quote, "We must support the the PlayStation platform. That is non-negotiable." With that said, you will see the future of some of the titles coming out of my collection to other studios to give us a wider install base. So that doesn't necessarily mean that PlayStation will start. PlayStation exclusives will come to Xbox and the Switch. We don't expect to see Ratchet and Clank come to the Switch the same way Xbox's Ori is coming. But it could mean that multiplayer titles with the PC as well as the cross-platform play that Sony has been so against that they are leaning towards making it happen.
And I can also see them doing things like putting the game Dreams, because I think that's the big thing is they're thinking about the game Dreams.
Yeah.
That's a PS4 exclusive, putting that on PC, so more people can experience that.
I got a couple other games.
Outside of the opening night live.
Well, PlayStation wise.
Okay.
Erica.
Oh, we'll talk about that opening night live.
Okay. Sorry. Well, let's go back to Nintendo really quick. We forgot to bring it up.
Oh yeah. What were you talking about with Nintendo?
Before we move on, so a couple things. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Is
all the memes
getting a nod to the classic Mario and Sonic. So there will be two characters that you can play. It is the original Mario and the original Sonic. And if you can see my phone for those who are watching, those are the two characters. And you actually can run, race, do all the events.
Everything.
With the 2D animated Mario and the 2D Sonic, which is pretty cool.
The sprite-based characters, yep.
Yeah, the original Mario and the Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The 8 and 16-bit graphic characters are coming into this game.
Can we just talk about how much of a fucking crime against humanity it is that Wario doesn't have like a big bushy like chest?
I agree with that.
That is a crime against humanity. He should fucking have that.
I agree with that. You would think he would.
Yeah, but no, apparently he doesn't.
According
to Nintendo, which is canon. I mean, also that Luigi's dick is like 8 inches long or 9 inches long.
Did Zelda Link's Awakening, was that on... What was that one a part of?
That was part of the E3.
Was it?
Presentation. Yeah. It won, like, best... It won an award, like, best Nintendo game at Gamescom.
That's the next one, right? That's the
remaster of Link's Awakening. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they dropped some footage at Gamescom. You can watch 30 minutes of Link's Awakening footage.
Oh, neat.
Right now it's it's the remake of the 1993 Game Boy title. It comes out September 20th. It is a remake. They changed all the graphics, made it look decent. They
added some stuff too.
And they did. Currently on YouTube, if you look it up, you can watch 30 minutes of the gameplay of the game. I forgot to bring those up for Nintendo when we were talking about it.
It happens.
And before we move on, let's make sure I don't have anything else random.
Do you have any of the things on the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot?
Other than what we talked about on the podcast.
All right, because I think they showed a little bit more off.
They did. They released the official trailer. They released the official trailer of that, which follows from the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z up through Cell, and graphics are essentially like any other graphics anime fighter game.
It's nothing spectacular. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look as good as Fighters.
But you get to get your license, so that's all that matters.
So that's an immediate game of the year right there.
I do have stuff on Nvidia and Alienware, because they were there.
Oh yeah, they were. They did talk about some stuff.
Did you want to wait on that or talk about that later?
We can talk about it. Actually, let's talk about it now.
Okay. So, Alienware, the legend, the classic gaming PC, the originator of the gaming fucking towers that were as big as a door.
Yep.
Kind of went away a little bit, then came back, went away, came back, went away. They're getting
We're bought by Dell a few times.
They're getting a whole redesign. And
that actually looks pretty sick.
They look amazing. The Aurora R9 debuted at Gamescom, and it looks phenomenal. The case is a sleek design with blue silhouettes around the whole entire thing.
It looks nice, really nice.
i9 processor, which is insane. Dual NVIDIA RX 2080 graphics cards, and they can hold up to 64 gigs of RAM.
That's fucking stupid. That's way more than you'll ever need.
You can customize them if you go to the website. They do have pre-built ones. But for the base models, they start at 970, which isn't bad.
Jesus. No, that's not bad at all. That's probably like, what, a 1060 in there?
Yeah.
i5.
They also have a 55-inch gaming monitor that they were releasing.
Yeah, they did.
$4,000.
Yeah, it is.
AMD FreeSync, 4K resolution, 120 hertz. I don't necessarily know why you need that, but I guess if you look at all the big streamers, they have a computer they have like literally a TV monitor above their other things that they read their donations and stuff from.
Or a lot of people do. Well, you wouldn't do that for the donations.
Well, like their subs and stuff, because you'll see them look up.
Yeah, you wouldn't have that for donations, though. You would have that for, like, actual gameplay.
It's an OLED panel. Yep. So it's going to... I guarantee it looks absolutely stunning. Yeah, no worries. While he's gone, I will talk about the NVIDIA. Once my computer decides to load. Actually, here, let's go down to the base model, the $970 Alienware model that you can grab right now. And the new Aurora, Dell.com. So, essentially, according to Dell, you can build it. So the base model comes with an i5, 8 gigs of RAM, a GeForce 1650 with 4 gigs of DDR. It jumps to 1600 i7, 16 gigs of RAM, 1660 GeForce with 6 gigs of RAM, and then kind of just realistically goes up from there. You got a $1,900 one, i7, 16 gigs of RAM, 2060, and then you have an i7 for $2,500 with a 2070 8 gig graphics card, which honestly that's the majority of what you're paying for is that graphics card, which is insane. But it doesn't, and it actually kind of asks you what games and stuff you like to play. You can pick Fortnite, CSGO, Apex Legends, Overwatch, Call of Duty, because these are geared towards gaming. They always have been. I have an Alienware. I don't see the pricing of the i9 though, because then you have liquid cooling, things along those lines. Where is the i9? Where is it at? I don't think that's an option yet. Nope. Nah, I don't see that on here yet. It does come with a cool illuminated keyboard and mouse, which is awesome. But I don't see the i9 version to give you a price on it. Oh, I had that next. Okay, so to get the i9 Alienware, it starts at $3,255.
Oh, you're talking about the pricing for the new Alienware?
i9 990 graphics card, 32 gigs of RAM, GeForce 2080. It's $3,250. To get the i9 32 gigs, what is the difference between this and that one?
Well, how much is the one with the two i9s?
$5,200.
Fuck. And that has the probably the 64 gigs.
Yep, 64 gigs of RAM. Two 2080 8 gig graphics cards.
So that's 16 gigs for VRAM right there, probably running an SLI.
Honestly,
I would assume.
You're like that's what that is, which is unreal. Like that you're paying for those graphics cards. Those graphics cards alone are about $1,500 a piece plus.
No, I think they're about 1,100 now.
Okay, so they went down, but still, it's unreal. 2 gig solid state drive. 2 terabyte solid state drive with a regular 2 terabyte SATA, so 4 terabytes of storage in that.
I'm surprised it's not rocking an M.2.
Nah, I don't think it would. Let's see what we got here.
That's a hell of a lot faster and more reliable than solid state.
Yeah. I think it's the removable aspect of it, though.
Yeah, true. It's a lot easier to replace solid states than M.2. Because isn't M.2 just glorified flash?
Mm-hmm. It's flash. That's what all your elite books and shit, like the smaller computers have.
Mm-hmm.
That's they don't have physical hard drives. They have little microchips. It's overclocked, hyper-threaded. It's fucking maxed out to the gears. Disgusting computer.
Oh, yeah.
Is it worth it? Nah, it depends.
Probably
who you
not.
ask.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, unless you're
like really.
I don't
into
even
that.
know why you would need. I don't know. Probably like rendering.
Yeah.
Like rendering like high end stuff, but then if you're rendering some high end stuff, just spend a little bit like what another few grand and get the new iMac Pro.
Yeah, but that's not really good for gaming though.
You're not going to be gaming with two 2080s.
Yeah, that's true. Nvidia. So, Microsoft xCloud, Google Stadia, remote internet servers ran by. So also really quick. So the xCloud will be ran by AMD GPUs.
Okay.
The Google Stadia will bring obviously theirs to the Google Pixels, using the AMD servers as well.
Yep.
But its rival, Nvidia, doesn't like that.
No.
They don't. The graphics giant just announced the soon expecting GeForce Now cloud gaming service.
Of fucking course.
So if Google and Microsoft are going to use AMD servers, why not Nvidia?
Nvidia's just going to make their own system.
Why not
own cloud
Nvidia
service.
just say, screw you guys, we're going to make our own system. They already have the Shield. They have the Razer. So basically it says all you'll need is a gamepad to take full advantage of the GeForce Now servers.
Well, they kind of already do that with certain cards, with certain graphics cards. You can stream that to your like Android TV box.
They're gonna, they're specifying it for LG and Samsung phones. So basically, they're taking the market away from Google because Google is using the Pixel.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically trying to create that market share. Okay, so Microsoft wants to use somebody else's servers, wants to use their graphics card, things along those lines. Well, we're going to make our own, and we're going to target LG and Samsung phones.
I mean, that's not bad. That's not a bad idea.
To take full advantage of the mobile experience, we're recommending a gaming Bluetooth gamepad, such as the Shield controller.
Well, of course they would say that.
Yeah. As some games will be unplayable on an Android phone without that gamepad.
Makes sense.
It's not much of a stretch for Nvidia to bring the service to Android phones. Nvidia's GeForce first came to the Android-based Nvidia Shield portable gaming controller.
Yep, and their tablet.
Console.
Yep.
Yeah, and they had a tablet as well.
That short-lived tablet.
They had the Shield TV, which runs Android TV. That's been going on for years. Mac and PC, the invite-only beta for GeForce Now has gotten, I guess, extremely positive reviews, and all the games that it's streamed over the internet has been essentially seamless.
Nice.
It has not been said if it'll work over the LTE or 5G cellular connection. They didn't talk about that.
Because won't Google Stadia's work over cellular?
It's supposed to, but if you can get
Probably
a good
running
enough,
like 720p.
yeah, if you can get a good enough signal. But so Nvidia is now throwing their name into the market of cloud gaming, which
Because
further
of course they are.
extends the question: is that going to change the gaming industry? Is that going to take away
Not yet.
the likeliness of the $140 billion industry, which, by the way, is projected to reach by 2025 $350 billion if it continues on the upscale that it's on right now, which is amazing.
Oh yeah, doesn't surprise me.
What we got next?
Well, we got the opening night live,
Sure do.
starring my boy Jeff Keighley, big name in the gaming industry, best friends of Hideo Kojima, and guy I'm super jealous of. So it started off with Gears 5, some more story stuff. Hey, there's snow in it. It's a theme. Marcus Phoenix is in it. Even the scientists are super buff. Fucking mechs. There's ice sailing. 2 different stories. 4K 60 FPS in campaign. 3-player co-op. Couch co-op. And it won Best Xbox Game at Gamescom.
Yep.
So, next game was... So they said that there was going to be about 15 world premieres at opening night live before this. I like to believe there's more because it seemed like every fucking thing they showed was a world premiere. So it starts off with like the next game is like starts off with some like weird like blueprint design of stuff. It's like, oh, that looks like a drone, and then they announce it's a new Comanche game, and I'm like, Comanche, oh shit, that definitely was a video game that I never played. It's the first Comanche game since I think 2005. I didn't look it up. It's going to be team-based online gameplay. Alpha and beta are coming this year, early access next year. Cool helicopter dogfights, fight with drones. You have alts, because of course you do. It's coming to Steam from THQ Nordic. They also showed off another THQ Nordic game. Again, another world premiere. DCL the game. It's drone racing.
Yep. Which
Cool.
actually looked pretty cool.
I mean, it's drone racing. I can play that in fucking Judgment as much as I want. Next was another world premiere for Need for Speed Heat. So showing off a little bit more of that. What's
back
cool
to
is
the
that
classic days, baby.
Yep. So it's got a day-night cycle. What's really cool about it is that depending on the time of day, things change. So like during the day, you have more sanctioned races where it's completely cool. It's all enclosed off areas of the city. But at night, everything changes.
Yep.
So at night, that's when you have your illicit races. That's where you're doing your normal street races. Cops are way more aggressive at night.
Yep.
You
pretty cool.
You earn parts for your cars during the day and money at night to upgrade those parts. A lot of customization.
That was
you
one
have
reason why
things...
I love those games, like being able to, that's why I wanted a car with a spoiler back in the day with the system and the lights and.
Everyone wanted that, like during that time when like the first Fast and the Furious movie came out.
Yep, because and Need for Speed took advantage of that hardcore.
Oh, yeah, they did.
It was like simultaneously they came out and they're like, dude, we're fucking benefit off of this like no tomorrow.
You have things like exhaust tuning, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So you can change how it sounds when you're driving. You can fully customize your character. You can actually customize your car through what's called the Heat Studio app for iOS and Android. So you can customize your car and then import it into the game.
Yep.
It's coming out November 8th, but the Heat app is available now. What?
I just cracked my hip. How it hurt.
Another world premiere. So what are we at? Like 4 now?
4 or 5.
Yeah, because I think the story stuff was a world premiere as well for Gears 5. So we're at like 5 now.
Yep.
Showed off Kerbal Space Program 2, which was a cute little game that came out 2013, 2014, something like that. Where you just try to land on the moon as these little adorable little guys. You got jets now, space jets, multiple planets to land on. It's coming out next year for PS4, Xbox, and PC. Another world premiere, Little Nightmares 2 from Bandai Namco. You got a spooky bag-headed kid that's coming out next year for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Big thing with this is it's going to actually have some combat in it.
Which would be pretty cool.
Dreams won Best PS4 game. Then they showed off some more world premiere stuff with Predator Hunting Grounds.
New Predator game.
So it looks like it's going to be...
concept.
I wouldn't say that. It's going to be like PvPvE.
Yeah.
So a squad of 4 soldiers fight NPCs and the Predator, and then one person's the Predator. trying to like kill everyone.
Almost
Soldiers are
reminds me of Jason, Friday the 13th, the game.
It's by the same people.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense then.
The soldiers are in first person, while the Predators in third person. That's coming out next year for PS4. Showed off a little bit of Monster Hunter Iceborne, some more stuff. Again, world premiere.
Snow.
Snow. And then really the only thing that I really took away from this is that the new, like...
Crossover. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Oh, yeah, isn't it with the expansion for Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah.
They already had, like, They had a crossover with Horizon Zero Dawn before, where you can get Aloy's like outfit
Okay.
and then her bow. The only thing I really came across with Iceborne is that Volcana, the cover monster, will fuck you up like it's no tomorrow. Then they showed off the Cycle, which is a PvE and PvP game, first-person shooter. You fight monsters on an alien world. Some really interesting futuristic weapons. Early access is out now, coming to that game store. And it's a competitive quest shooter, and it's free. Another world premiere is Life is Strange 2, Episode 4, coming out August 22nd.
So those are always fun games.
Another world premiere was Humankind by Sega and Amplitude. It's a caveman making fresh beats. It looks like a strategy game where you start in the prehistoric era, kind of like a... reminds me kind of a little bit like Civilization, it looks like.
Yeah.
And that's coming 2022. Borderlands 3.
Again.
Oh boy. Jeff Keighley makes this better. Still don't care. Walker could talk about this.
It's literally the same shit. It's
pretty much.
We've talked about. I think that's we've talked about it a lot over the different podcasts. There's nothing really that new, unfortunately. So we'll move on from that.
Yep. Another world premiere was Everspace 2.
Yes.
Spaceship, space station, flying around the universe. It looks like what No Man's Sky was going to be at launch.
Which
a little bit, except
supposedly gonna be here in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah. Looks pretty fucking rad. That's coming to PS4, Xbone, and Steam.
And supposedly now, 2021 is when it's gonna be released.
Okay.
Which is crazy that they reviewed it now.
Yeah.
So.
Just at least throw it out there.
It's expected to hit Kickstarter on September 9th with a goal of 450,000. I don't know what that weird symbol is before it. It's like a C with two lines in it.
Euro?
I don't know. Let me see what it is. So it's...
I think that's Euro.
Euro, yep. So that would be... $498,000 US.
$500,000.
$500,000.
I do believe this is a German publisher too, a German creator too.
Yeah, the game is expected to hit Xbox in 2021, in Steam early, for early access in 2020. The original Everspace is a part of Game Pass, so it's in the works.
That's cool.
It's just a trailer, a bona fide trailer. It switches up things by expanding to an open world concept where players can traverse the vast distances of role-playing elements mixed in, things along those lines.
Oh yeah.
But I'm assuming it'll go because they have a trailer. I don't know why they need a Kickstarter for it, but
yeah, I don't know why. Next they showed another world premiere of some more Witcher 3 for the Switch.
Yep.
Boy, howdy does it look terrible.
October 15th.
It looks bad compared to the other versions of the game. But my god, that game can look like shit. Now it'd still be in awe that they managed to make it work.
I had my notes a lot of blurry textures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of blurry textures. It wasn't. It's not stunning, but we'll see.
They had a lot of close-ups of things they shouldn't have done close-ups on.
Yep.
More importantly, faces.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rather blurry to say the least.
But you know what? They managed to put it on the Switch.
Yep, they did.
They managed. Boy, did it look choppy too.
So hopefully that'll come to more fruition here soon, where it's not as bad.
Mm-hmm. FIFA 20 world premiere, Volta Football, some more stuff in that. 17 locations, and then they showed some of the story mode for that Volta story. Disintegration, they showed off world premiere of that. First-person ship shooting. There's some mechs. Looks a lot like Destiny because it starts off with a dude in like what it almost looks like one of those like speeder bikes from Destiny.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But you fly around and you shoot people with it, which is pretty cool. That's coming out next year for the PS4, Xbox, and PC. First single-player story and multiplayer. It looks like it's going to be a first-person shooter cross RTS where you're commanding like your troops and stuff that are on the ground. So that'd be pretty cool. Darksiders Genesis world premiere trailer. Nothing really much to say about that. Then they showed off Guilt, which is a world premiere that they showed off a little bit about that at E3. It's a Stadia exclusive. It's the one where he plays that little girl going through like that school and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Takes place in Maine, because of course that's like the scariest place in the world. Monsters are physical manifestations of characters' fears. Which reminds me a lot of like Silent Hill.
Yeah.
You use a flashlight to attack, like Alan Wake. It looks like it's very stealth focused. That's going to be a launch title for the Stadia. It's obvious just from looking at a lot of the stuff in there, the people that made it are huge like horror fans, like horror game fans, because there was a lot of like Silent Hill vibes I had with it. Link's Awakening won best Nintendo game. They showed off some more stuff with Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. It's going to take place on the moon. It's going free to play. Going to have cross saves, which are available right now. Showed a world premiere trailer. Remothered Broken Porcelain. They didn't really show much of that. Again, another world premiere. 2020, Xbone, PS4, Switch, PC. Then we had an ad for the Epic Game Store. And saying that free games are going to be added every week in 2019.
Yay.
Magic the Gathering Arena coming to the Epic Store.
Yeah.
That winter. It's going to have some stream integration to it. Which will basically what it does is you can basically in the game while you're streaming be like, hey chat, what card should I pick? And it'll immediately like pull up a thing for people to vote on.
That'd be
what
pretty
to
cool.
Play. Then there was Erica, an interactive thriller.
Yep.
That's been in the work for a while now.
You solve different puzzles and you make choices that that basically impact the direction of the game. It's also playable on the app or Android. So there's going to be interaction features that kind of cross-play with each other, which is pretty cool.
That's out right now on PS4 for $10.
It was announced in 2017.
Yeah. They've been working on this hard.
Interaction thrillers, I've noticed that like that's a big thing now too. Like you have Life is Strange and things along those lines. Based on what you say, changes the game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's nothing new, but still, it's neat.
It's
They're
interesting.
Pretty neat. They showed off some stuff for Anno 1800 world premiere. A lot of DLCs coming out. Got snow. They showed off Port Royale 4 world premiere. That's like kind of again, kind of like a city building kind of thing. That's coming out 2020 for PC, PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Iron Harvest looked pretty cool. I don't know if you remember that one.
I'm looking through right now. I don't know.
So Iron Harvest was like the real-time strategy game, the one that they showed off. They showed like a whole bunch of like images and videos from World War One. And then they just threw those like mechs and shit in there.
Yep.
That was cool. That was pretty heckin' cool.
Yep. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about now. And they're not even like new mechs. They're like
it's like if there were mechs in that time.
Yeah, in that era. Weird, like you have to see the trailer, but yeah, Harvest 1920.
Think of it like an old like a coal engine locomotive was turned into a mech.
Yeah, there you go.
That's coming out for PS4, Xbone, and Steam on January 9th. I think it was January 9th. Did it say 9? It said 9/1, I think. Yeah, so that would be January 9th. Or did it say 1/9?
I'm looking it up now. Let's see what we got here. Oh, shit, come on. September 1st, 2020.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it said 1/9 or 9/1.
Yep, September 1st. Steam-driven mechs do battle in the early 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
In an alt history World War One, essentially.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
Then they showed off Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yes, they did.
Basically, it's going to be a reimagining of the original of the Modern Warfare franchise.
The new modes.
More importantly, crossplay between console and console and console and PC.
Yes.
So that's going to be really cool.
Alpha starts on PlayStation only, August 23rd.
For the 2v2.
2v2 free for all, even if you don't have the the PlayStation membership. 2v2 gunfight. It's across 5 different maps, so if you're not familiar with what that is, basically it's you and your partner in a 2v2 battle of 6 rounds. Whoever wins all 6 rounds, well, whoever not wins all 6 rounds, but whoever wins best out of 6 is the ultimate champions.
Nice.
And then
whoever wins 4 rounds.
Yep. It's kind of cool because then you can keep playing in the game, and 2 other people will come in, and you kind of just keep playing.
Keep going.
Which is pretty awesome. I would assume there at one point they'll probably have some kind of tournament.
Oh, probably
tournament. Around this, where they'll have like brackets.
Oh yeah, probably.
So, which would be pretty cool.
They also talked about up to 100 players multiplayer.
Yes.
So 50 on 50.
Yeah, which would be absolutely phenomenal. No battle royal.
Still not as good as Mag.
But no battle royal, but the largest multiplayer mode in Call of Duty history.
Yep. And then finally, Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Was what ended the show. World premiere. Kojima was there. Hideo Kojima, my boy. He talked about a lot of different characters. Each character is going to have their own sub-story, which is cool to learn more about them. The first character they show was Mama, who's played by Margaret Qualley. She has like an invisible baby, who is born on the other side. So basically, it's like dead, but it's still like alive. And it's still like connected to her with the umbilical cord. So she cannot leave that area because she's still connected to the child. They showed Bridge Baby and Dead Man. Dead Man has the likeness of Guillermo del Toro, voiced by Jesse Corti. He's a scientist. Learned a little bit more about the babies and the pods. The pods replicate a still mother's womb, so a woman that is basically like in a coma that gives birth.
Yep.
Babies are the tools. They usually last about a year, and they're connected to the world of the dead. So they showed off gameplay, and I'm just gonna fly through this real quick. Norman is sleeping. Norman is peeing. So there's a whole like bladder ladder-like mechanics.
Yep.
First-person investigation mode. You can equip ladders to traverse the environment, which they showed off a little bit more of. It's funny when they said about the gameplay trailer, Kojima was like, yeah, I'm going to save it for Tokyo Game Show. And everyone's like, fuck off, no, you're not. And he's like, all right, I'm not.
It looks awesome. Like, the graphics are disgusting. Like, it's...
That's what happens when you have unlimited Sony funds.
It's true.
Huge map of the U.S. Jeff Keighley's in it, which is cool. Another thing, too, is, like, they showed Norman's character just falling off a cliff and the baby freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, I seen that.
So you actually have to use your controller to rock the baby. And you have to do it, like, gently, so it doesn't, like, aggravate it.
I don't get the whole ladder thing, though. Like, you literally have a ladder that just stems, like, unlimited feet.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It's the future. It's the future.
So I would say the graphics aren't, like, I don't know. They're not, like, Final Fantasy, like, 15 quality, but they're still phenomenal.
It's using the same engine that Horizon Zero Dawn did.
Yeah.
Because they got that from Guerrilla Games.
So it still looks great. I thought the falling off the cliff was absolutely hilarious. It looked like he just wasn't paying attention. Just, oops.
Yep. Oopsies. It looked like a big gaff.
And you literally got to look down at your baby, grab it, and then rock it back and forth.
Yep.
Which is actually pretty cool.
So there's the whole peeing mechanic, which you could turn off if you want, but who's going to do that?
Nobody.
Nobody. They talked in great length about the peeing mechanics. Just saying. One of the things they said was that
you literally have to you literally select it and click urinate.
You do. And you get a little gauge above that says how much urine you have. And then they said about if you turn the camera, Norman Reedus' character just turns away so you can't see anything.
Yep. Yeah, you turn it. It was funny because they try to go around it and he just turns. They try to go above it and he just leans over.
Yep.
It's very smart.
They talked about peeing for about 5 minutes.
That's hilarious.
Kojima talked about urination for about 5 minutes. Pee can be used as a weapon. They didn't say how, but apparently it can be. And he also said that pee is the key. So one thing they said about it was that you could pee in like one spot and you keep peeing in that same spot. Things might happen. You might get something out of it.
There's probably parts in the map that if you keep peeing, like something probably grows and you get something special.
Mm-hmm. And then tail end of Gamescom Day 1, Sega announced the Yakuza Remastered Collection.
Wah, wah, wah. I was wondering if you're gonna get to that.
Yep. So for $60, you get Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. So you get 2 good Yakuza games and Yakuza 3. Yakuza 3 Remastered is available right now, with the 4 Remastered coming October 29th, and then February 11th for 5. So you have to buy all 3. You have to buy it in the collection to get it. Which I don't know how I feel about that, because I think they should have done it a la carte with the option of getting the entire collection.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Because Yakuza 3 was only available in disc, in like a physical format on PS3. It wasn't available for digital download. They also did announce that there is the physical edition. But yeah, Yakuza Remastered Collection. It's getting a physical version, which I'm going to buy immediately. I'm going to pre-order that shit on. Actually, where the fuck did I put my phone? I literally just had it. As soon as I find my phone, I'm going to check Amazon's website and see if it's there or not yet. But you get with it all the games with Yakuza 3 and 4 on a disc, on a separate disc, and then Yakuza 5 on disc,
Nice.
which is the first time Yakuza 5 has been released physically stateside. And you also get, more importantly for me, just for me, you get a case, a PS3 case for Yakuza 5, which was only released digitally on PS3.
That's
So I
cool.
can pop that fucker onto my shelf and say, hey, I got a physical case for Yakuza 3.
Nice. So a couple games we missed. Watchdog Legion. They didn't show more trailers about that. One.
They showed off the old person dying.
Yep. It's called permadying. So essentially, like in real life, they have permadeath to all your playable characters. So you may be going with a lot of them. So essentially, if you recruit an old guy, you could be walking along with that dude, and he literally collapses on the floor and dies.
Yep. I love how that's just a mechanic. I love it. It's my favorite thing ever.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I think that's ingenious. It makes it so real life like. Little Nightmares 2. They did talk about that.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, we talked about it during the opening night live.
Oh.
We talked a little bit about it.
Completely missed that.
I mean, you can go more in depth with it if you have more in depth stuff. I'm just not familiar with Little Nightmares.
No, I just have. That's pretty much about it. It reminds me of Hello Neighbors. If you ever played that, it's basically it's a creepy game where you gotta you have missions and you have stuff you have to do, but you have to like sneak around essentially. If you're too loud, you get caught, and then Nightmare Simulations. Final Fantasy VIII remastered is available for pre-order. It'll be released September 3rd, which is huge.
Finally getting Final Fantasy VIII.
Yep. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yes, they are still making stuff for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yes. Co-op mode, as well as clone commanders.
Huh.
So, there's a 4-player co-op, which they are adding, which would be kind of cool. They are adding a capital supremacy game mode, other modes, and new maps. In addition to clone commanders, which is pretty cool. So, clone commanders are elite force within the Grand Army of the Republic, striking fear into the enemies. So that'd be kind of cool. The primary weapon is a DC-17M. It's a blast rifle. So that'd be kind of cool. The clone commanders won't be hitting the game until September, and the other mechanics will be rolled out during other expansions. So, if you don't remember what a clone commander looks like, it's a little like, hang on, see if I can turn my brightness down. A little like drone type character, and they have like a sniper rifle. So,
interesting.
Which is pretty cool. The new map, Capital Supremacy, also is in September. It's set on the human jungle of the planet Falsiga. I don't know how to say that. More significantly, the 4-player co-op. The 4-player online co-op also arrives late September, allowing you to team up with 3 other people for a large-scale PvE adventure.
Cool.
You can choose to play as the Galactic Republic, or the Supremacist Alliance, and partake in battles in R5 Clone War planets featured in Battlefront 2. So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And that's all the news that I have.
Yeah,
they did show more on the Avengers game, but I'm already disgusted with that game, so I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, like I'm disgusted with everything that Marvel fucking does and Disney does.
So I don't want to talk about that.
All right.
Little Nightmares is a great game. Little Monsters. Schroeder said that.
Yeah, I hear Little Nightmares is great.
Yeah, it's if you haven't played the game Hello Neighbor, it's like I said, it's kind of like the same thing. Not really, but the
I would say
closest
it's
thing.
more like a 2D platformer, or
Yeah.
platformer, than anything else.
Why is that pushed into my seat? Anywho, Little Monsters. He said, okay. What is? Hang on. 1 second.
Little Monsters.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Little Monsters. It's a movie.
No, it's a game too. I see it. Little Monsters.
Ah,
It's also a game.
okay.
But anywho, that is. Oh, it says no. He's talking about Little Nightmares. It just has a lot of little monsters in it.
Hmm.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Little Monsters is a
does.
game too, though. I
Fun
saw
fact.
a little fun fact for those who care. I think that's a pod.
Yeah, sounds
That's
like a
our
good
GameCon podcast special event, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll be back with another special event in September
We will.
for Tokyo Game Show, and then we don't have anything until next year.
So we got a lot. We got a lot coming out. Obviously, make sure you stay tuned. Sunday, episode 31 of the Normal Level Unlock podcast. Be there,
Oh,
be
so
square.
we're not considering this 31,
Oh,
like the E3 one.
I call it. Well, we didn't name that one though. I just put E3 special. I just put E3 podcast.
Yeah.
We could, in theory, I guess.
No, this is special.
Yeah, that GameCon special podcast, special event podcast.
Mhm.
Stay tuned Sunday. We do have a lot of movie news. A lot of movie news.
And like no game news.
Yeah. So the majority of the game news came out today. There are some things, but
A few things here and there, but
we'll see
in
what
the
happens.
aftermath. Oh, there was one other thing with Gamescom.
What?
Elgato announced something new.
Did
their
they? I missed that.
4K 60
Mm-hmm.
internal capture card. They reamped it and dropped the price.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, so I think it's now let me take a look real quick. Let me get the price. Elgato 4K Mark II. 4K 60 Pro Mark II. So they dropped the price down to about like half or something like that. Oh, yeah. So $250 as opposed to I think like the $300 or $400 that it was before.
Not bad.
They dropped that price down, but the big thing is that not only is it going to do 4K at 60 FPS, but it will also support multiple. You could plug in multiple ones of them to your computer, so you could easily switch between different games and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then also it's as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Ugh, I got shit flying everywhere. Papers going all over the place.
Papers, please. Yeah, that's all that I have.
Perfect. But yeah, make sure you stay tuned Sunday. A lot of gaming news from different companies. A lot of surprise that actually came up during Gamescom. Not related to Gamescom, but nevertheless, still came out this week. A lot of movies that are in the works that are going to be made, which is huge. And we'll talk about that Sunday. Make sure you're there, Level Unlock Podcast, on any of our channels. Make sure you follow us, Level Unlock Podcast, at gmail.com. Send us emails, love us, like us, follow us. Use the email, send us questions, send us concerns, send us issues. Follow us on Twitter.
Answer 'em.
At what, James?
LVL Unlocked Pod. That's LVL Unlocked Pod. Also send your questions there.
Yes. And once again, I'm Jeremy, Captain Geach. Next to me is Mr. James, People I Hate Studios. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Audio-only version of this will be available tomorrow, as it is midnight in the East Coast. So,
It is.
thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for listening. See you Sunday.
Bye.